newspaper headliners. So the papers are in. We'll make to share the headline stories with you. Okay. Interesting but not surprising. We're starting on a political note. Marafa supporters resign from APC in Zamfara. But let me announce that Charles Ideho is unable to be here. Charles has a little frog. No. Did he say little? A big frog in the throat. And so the voice can't carry him. So Charles, please kill the frog. It's the way of broadcasters and singers, if you know. Yeah, but I have a colleague, sportscaster, broadcaster, Efyong Young is here. Efyong, I greet you. Good morning.
Great to be here. Good morning, Jones.
Yeah. Okay then. As I said a while back, Marafa supporters resign from APC in Zamfara. Did you see that coming?
Maybe a yes and no.
Okay.
A no in the sense that as members of the ruling party, you begin to wonder why one would resign when your party is ruling the country and ruling the state. But then the yes is the general feeling around the country of too much politics, less of governance. And of course, when our big politicians, in a manner of speaking, when they are seemingly out of favor with whoever is in charge, they tend to pull out. And of course, in Nigeria, it's always me and my people, me and my followers. So a man would not get angry and just go by himself. He'll look for hordes of other people to go with him. So
maybe yes, man.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe beneficial, because again, if you know how politics works in Nigeria, people have followers whom they give pittances to. At the end of the day, they become his people.
Okay.
So anytime he takes a decision, they go with him.
Well, a cynic had said he was not surprised at the toing and froing of politicians in this season. That as you have in soccer, in football, when the window opens,
the transfer window.
So
but again, in the political space, I think it's a bit too early this season. I mean, the preseason is not even supposed to be here by now, and people are in full blown. They're playing the league politically, and so it is quite surprising that it's happening. Again, to imagine that this is prompted by government itself, by the ruling party, by the politicking that we've seen since the start of this year, getting into the political spirit of transfers even before the preseason.
All right. Minor pieces in the nation include this one. Niger Delta youths slam IYC's call for Ojulari's sack. Label protest kangaroo show. The NNPC.
Yeah, because
GCU.
The NNPC is a juicy place, and in Nigeria, what we've seen in the last decade, the moment some persons are protesting, there'll always be a counter-protest. So you have for and against. For issues that are supposed to be purely administrative, where people are supposed to do their jobs, either you do your job or you get fired. But whatever decisions that come out of it, either from government or from the people, or come from government or his employers, everything has political undertones, and that's what we're seeing.
All right, to Edo now, where the NLC to engage Okpebolo on minimum wage. You remember some days ago, Imo State Governor said that he was going to jack up the wage to 104,000.
Yes. Well, the
Akwa Ibom is 84,000, and it varies from state to state.
Well, I think it should be. I mean, it's quite interesting that the standards just vary, which should be the case, especially if it's we're running the presidential system of government, where we say we are a federation. State governments should be able to deal with their workers according to their pocket. The federal government has set the bar, or the benchmark, in a manner of speaking, to 70,000 naira per.
And states have more money at their disposal now.
Yes, so it's not out of place to do that. A lot of them are not even employing. That's what you also need to tackle, or we need to know.
And regrettably, Effiong, a number of states don't even pay the previous minimum wage of 30,000.
No, it's too much.
They're in default.
Too much politics everywhere, Jones. I don't understand it. So much money they are not employing, because instead of employing, because the civil service structure in most states of the federation is in total disarray, because people are retiring, people are dying, people are leaving service for other ventures, and the government is not employing. So what you have is you have SA for everything. SA pure water, SA bottled water, SA in my state, in Cross River State. We have a SA in charge of Facebook, SA WhatsApp, SA TikTok. So you now ask, and there's a Ministry of Information in that state, and there's a national orientation, there's an arm of the National Orientation Agency in that state. So there's so much makeups everywhere, makeovers, if you like, in different sectors. So
in otherwise largesse.
Well, yeah, would I call it a largesse? Everything is just drama, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Because you wonder, there's a civil service structure that we inherited. In as much as we blame everything that is wrong with us 65 years after independence on our colonial masters, but what system they handed over should be able to carry us through.
When they tell you democracy is a nascent one, you tend to ask, for how long must we remain in the classroom? 65 years?
Interesting. And it says it's a young democracy. America is 200 and blah blah blah. But we use the same cell phones, we fly the same aircrafts, we use the same digital space, and we get the same luxury. When it comes to man management, then we go back.
Consider the next story from The Nation. Security agencies in show of force ahead of Rivers local government poll. I think the poll
is today.
Holding today.
Yes, I have a friend who's supposed to be back in Lagos and is stranded in a hotel in Port Harcourt. He went for a wedding, and
the wedding held.
Yes, and it was supposed to be a traditional thing, and of course, by the time they finished, there's no way he could start leaving River State, so he stuck up somewhere there, and had to send SOS. That's on the side. But again, show of force, you begin to wonder how democratic this democracy is. I watched some of the groups there talk about how can an undemocratic process be install a democracy in River State. I think it's just maybe laughable, if you like, or maybe pitiable, depending on how you see it.
Maybe a circus show under the garb of democracy. Yeah, this should interest you. Shell, or is it Chell? Eric Chell announces final squad for a crucial World Cup.
Well, well, let's hope we qualify, because the last outing at the Chan was quite disastrous, and
Were we prepared for the event?
well, I would say yes, but what manner of preparation is another matter. But in terms of preparation, I say yes, we prepared. What results we are getting is a different ball game, because we do continually do things very wrongly, seeking to get right answers, and it never happens. And unfortunately, I don't know where we got all of this wrong in sports. We can go on and on and on and on talking about where we are. I mean, former world champions at different levels, and when we are supposed to excel. At the World Cup, Nigeria, for instance, talking sports now, we have the best players, professional players ever in the history of our country. For the very first time across the world, Nigerian players are playing the best football, playing in first team, and you expect all of this to bring dividends to the national team, but we're not getting it.
Well, you know, regarding our qualification for the World Cup, I hear everything has been reduced to a mathematics of sort.
Yeah, I mean, the pundits are now, permutations are on. If this one loses, if this one plays a draw,
And this other one is punished,
Yeah.
3 points removed,
yes,
blah, 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 blah. and so on.
ineligible fielding of players by some other countries. People are asking that CAF and FIFA should sanction South Africa for the ineligibility of some players.
Okay, politics again. Atiku hands over Yola property, former Secretary Adamawa PDP Secretariat to ADC.
Well, he paid for it, so he can hand over his property to who, to whoever. You recall that when our governor in Cross River State, Benedict Benayade, crossed over to APC from PDP, he went there with his men, seized the secretariat, and in 1 week they changed the color of the secretariat to APC.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So these things happen. It's Nigeria.
All right, so we'll move to the Punch. No, I beg your pardon, to the Vanguard. The Vanguard leads with this unfortunate story. Many feared dead in Sokoto boat mishap. Rescue operations begin.
Sad, I would say. For a boat mishap in River Sokoto or wherever, this is where it doesn't rain often. So when you hear about such mishaps in those areas, you just wonder how prepared they were, or maybe they were taken by surprise.
Yeah, but NIMET had warned that
there are going to be floods in some states.
30 of the 36 states,
Yes.
floods was going to be on the front burner.
Yeah, you know, it's the way we are. You know, there's some article I wrote sometime last month. I call it this concept of anyhowism. People don't do things anyhow. It does not matter. People don't care. Anyhow it is, so it's okay. We move on. Let's move forward. We keep moving forward and discover that we are 100 steps backwards. You know, people don't do their jobs. Everybody is nosing around the political.
Leave everything for God.
Yes. You know, if a Christian, oh, God is in control, then I like here, you hear those things and you just ask yourself what's going on.
You know, let me drop this little story here. I was traveling to Akwa Ibom some time ago, and between the Julius Berger here and the Shagamu intersection, which is quite a distance, the man elected to pray on the bus we were in. Okay, and I as soon as we got to the intersection, approaching the Shagamu Benin Expressway, I said, Pastor, The prayer is answered the moment you ensure that your vehicle is travel ready and the driver is in tip-top condition. He is not influenced by anything. The prayer, so if I hope you get the picture.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if your vehicle is not right, if the brakes are bad, and you now begin to expect a miracle,
don't go on the trip.
I mean,
All right, in the Vanguard, let's inject politics again. Jonathan's brother denies report of ex-president stepping aside from 2027 race.
Jonathan's brother, he should let the Jonathan speak, shouldn't he? I mean,
You recall that the wife of the ex-president had said they were not going back to Aso Rock. And here is a brother to the ex-president telling us this. Politics.
I think I'd rather stay with Patience Jonathan because she knows better. She's been there, she's seen it all. And in the circumstances that saw them out of Aso Rock, I'm not sure. Let me quote was it Obasanjo now in those years that said he doesn't know what Gowon forgot at Dodan Barracks. Why Gowon, then General Gowon would be going back wanting to be head of state again if he forgot anything in Dodan Barracks after an eight-year rule. So this time, probably I'll ask what Jonathan forgot in Aso Rock that he'll want to go back. I don't think that will happen.
All right, still more politics. If opposition fails Obi in 2027, I'll vote Tinubu. Deji Adeyanju is saying this.
His choice. So it's a freedom of expression. He has a right to so decide.
Obi never offered Deji anything, and a journalist is quoting. He's telling us.
I don't know why Obi should be the center of everything. Just another politician, just another leader. His quality is not in doubt. But everywhere, the bashing Obi left, right, and center. I don't know why. But like I said, Deji has a choice. And he has a right.
Okay. Police arrest community youths who flogged officer for drug use.
Who used the drug use? Who used the drug now? The officer.
Oh, yeah.
And as we talk about when the hunter becomes the hunted.
Okay.
Well, interesting stuff. Things happen. Things happen.
This is a crazy one. Pastor rapes own daughter for 4 years, blames it on generational curse.
Who caused him now?
The generation.
His his ancestors. I think I don't know how it can be regulated before people are called pastors. It makes those of us, makes a whole lot of us that are Christians feel real bad, because each time the word pastor is mentioned, you hear one negative story or the other, and that's not what being a pastor, what it represents. It's not, and it's really, really, really sad that we hear these things for persons that are supposed to be guiding role models, in a manner of speaking.
Hear this other crazy one. Man tortures neighbor to death, hides body inside water tank. They don't tell me waiting cause am more.
Well, but no matter what, how taking someone else's life is wrong in every culture. It's not allowed. It's something that we should abhor. But torturing, where were the people when he was torturing the man? I mean, if that story should be given any credence, where were the people who say he tortured him? Where were they when that was going on?
Yeah. Lagos government decries surge in domestic violence, records 11,692 cases in 1 year.
That's documented. I'm sure if they search more, beam their searchlight, they'll see more. The saddening of the society we live in today is not helping. The hardship is not helping. The suffering is not helping. And the reaction of people who are supposed to be giving support is not helping. You can just take a cue from what goes on when officials of state visit any premises. I was visiting a friend some days ago, somewhere in Surulere. We were sitting out there, and some officials of government walked in and said there was some live these reflective jackets, and they came asking for. They said they want to see the septic tank of the compound, and they said, "Oh, the landlord wasn't around." So who's the caretaker? Someone answered. They said, "Oh, where he's looking at. Is this not a restaurant?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Do you have a kitchen?" They said, "Yes." "Okay, let's see the kitchen." And the person was like, "Have you come to see the septic tank that you asked for, or the soakaway pit, or the restaurant? What do you actually want?" The man fled up. The next thing, he brought one red tape. This compound is sealed, blah blah blah, and all. And we're just watching and say, "What's this?" And if the people had reacted the way the official had, in the manner in which the official exhibited the attitude he put up, I mean, there would have been some crisis there, but they were a bit more tolerant. That's on one hand. So the climate in the country generally is too tense, and so this violence, these things will happen. So much hunger in the house, and of course, trust man and woman situation when there's no food or something. It's really tough.
All right, we move to the Daily Trust now. The lead story: passengers feared dead in fresh Sokoto boat accident. We dealt with it a while back.
Yes. Really sad, you know. And of course, there's the state emergency authority in that state. One would expect that when agencies like NIMET gives some warning, people should take caution,
take heed,
and educate people. I mean, you might just find out that they probably didn't have any life jackets if they were traveling in a boat, and they probably didn't have any life jackets or life buoys to help them.
Okay then, universities head for strike. Are you surprised?
Well, I would say yes, because we've not had that in a while. I thought that we had gone past that season. I recall when university degrees took 6 years, 7 years for courses that was meant to be 4 years. And I thought we had gone past that, especially with the advent of private universities, that all of those things have been put aside. But here we are. I guess whoever is involved should just try to resolve it, because the lives of these young people are all at stake, and their parents who sponsor them, it's not an easy kettle of fish at all. You know, one doesn't want to imagine what parents go through to see their wards through school.
Okay then, some more stories in the Daily Post to contend with. CAN, that's the Christian Association of Nigeria, to Ubasani, we are with you in prayers.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with Ubasani, but whatever it is, since it's pointing towards some well-wishing, it's okay.
Okay. All right. Just gone 25 minutes past 7 in the city of Lagos, and this is the Voice of the People Radio 90.3 FM on the dial. We are looking at the newspaper headliners. Okay, Dangote, Ethiopia, to build $2.5 billion fertilizer plant, targets 3 metric tons annually. That's
good one for him.
Good one, yeah.
Yeah, freestyling. I mean, since he retired as the chairman, CEO of the group, I think he now has time more time to move around, and and have fun doing other things in other climes. I mean, something similar to Bill Gates retiring from Microsoft at the time and moving around, going into agriculture and other endeavors across the world, especially in Africa, freeing himself of the bottlenecks of administration in his business. Good one for Dangote.
All right, let's move to the Daily Post newspaper now. The lead story: Amnesty International's report on Nigeria, fake, mischievous. NDMG. The MDMG is Northwest Democracy Monitoring Group.
Yeah, one would probably need to see the reports to know what's contained in there. Well, I want to believe that the NDMC group must have seen the report to prompt such a reaction. If it is, because it's always government versus the people. It depends on what the issues they've raised, what the issues are. Because in Nigeria, so many things are wrong, and there are so many good things as well. Trying to balance it. So it has to be, it will depend on what the issue is and the reaction of government for such reports to come.
Minor pieces in the Daily Post include this one: Anambra PDP. Anambra PDP elders warn NWC against dissolving state party EXCO.
Well, from my knowledge of politics, it must be that state party EXCOs are, of course, the strongholds of political parties. So when the NWC is advised not to tamper with, because when you disrupt your party structure at the state level, you create room for infiltration. And of course, we know that the PDP has been going through a whole lot, from the mainstream party to the faction led by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and each of these factions wanting to have an upper hand in the running, in calling the shots in the party. Don't forget that the party recently attempted to resolve its issues and wanting to hold its convention in Oyo State, while the FCT Minister Yeson Wike's faction wants the convention of the party to hold elsewhere. So that contention is there. So the struggle for the state party structures across the land may not be unconnected with these two contending forces. Yes.
Okay. Another story in the Daily Post to share is this one. NLC demands 150,000 naira minimum wage for Lagos workers. And the listener wants to take his time from us. 7:30. That's the time check. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what the NLC, whether it's the National Labor, the Nigeria Labour Congress, the national, or the state chapter of the NLC. It depends on which one. Because if the NLC is saying that they should pay X amount for Lagos, we need to understand why. Because the prices of goods are probably even cheaper in Lagos than elsewhere around the country. People go to the same markets, people spend the same foreign exchange rates in terms of pricing. So, I'm sure there'll be other reasons, but for whatever it is worth, I think so much has to be dealt with in Nigeria. A lot is wrong.
All right. How about this? Army intercepts 242 bags of fertilizer bound for terrorist bomb production in Borno. So now you know that
a good
fertilizer.
Oh yes, I've always known that. Yeah. Yes, as part of the raw materials. Yes. Well, so much has been happening in the security sector, with a lot of bashing going to the security agencies, the army especially, and other ground forces. As to, of course, we see videos. How true the videos are, we don't know, in terms of verification of those videos. But we've had a lot of personnel saying so many things about their commanders and all in the theater of war. And because every time we hear that the terrorists or bandits are having some upper hand, and if for that to happen, then there must be their supply. So if the army has stepped up its operation to checkmate the inflow of raw materials for the activation of things like explosive devices, I think it's some good development.
All right, how about this? I'm open to talks. Kwankwaso drops hints ahead of 2027. Remember, in the last few days, Kwankwaso had been in the news. Was he going to jump ship and all that?
Well, whatever happens will not be of any kind of surprise. A whole lot of ship jumping, we've seen that happen. But I think we're deliberately don't want progress in our country. I like to say so, because everything has to do with people's interest. But all of this is cloaked or in garbs of my people, for the country, for the good of the country, for the future, and all of that. But much of what we see has to do with the interest of individuals, and to a very large extent, one will not be surprised, depending on, I mean, there's been him, Kwakwanso, as we recall, sometime early this year, after the resignation of Umar Ganduje as chairman of the APC. We heard, read also that Kwakwanso was going to be the new bride, that he was going to be the next vice president, that Chitima was going to be dropped.
That's what I meant by the speculation.
Yes, plenty of it.
Let's talk some money news now. Naira continues appreciation against dollar across official and black markets.
Well, I mean, the interesting word there is the official and black market. Because one thought that with the floating of the Naira was to achieve a single exchange rate. And if we still have the black market after the floating of the Naira, then that's a huge problem. So when we talk about Naira appreciating, you begin to also ask yourself what's going on, what are the dynamics in the industry to warrant these movements. I mean, Naira is at an all-time low.
And, experts keep telling us, and I believe because we did it once, the only way to save the national currency, Effiong, is to indulge in aggressive export drive again,
It will be difficult for that to happen because the current...
Not impossible.
No, very, very difficult. Almost impossible, Joseph. I make bold to say so. Because when you look at the dynamics of financial management and investments, you look at it from the angle of how easy is it for the local industry? What's the power situation? What's the raw material situation? The machinery that you use for production are all imported. What's the exchange rate? What are the tariffs that you bring that you need to pay to make production possible? So it's difficult, Jones.
All right, that story that almost caught you off guard earlier on is here in the Daily Post. Pastor remanded for allegedly raping daughter for 4 years.
That's it must be a pervert. What I didn't like about that story, or what was surprising to me, or what was bad enough, is the word pastor. I mean, that a man that's supposed to be a shepherd, that's supposed to be pointing, to be a shining light to people, to be involved in that kind of act. I think holding the daughter hostage for 4 years, I think that's sad, bad enough. I mean, the man should go to jail if proven guilty. All
right, let's move to the Punch now, and the lead story: Nigerians to pay $80 duty on U.S. shipments. NIPOST.
Well, I mean, it's just part of what we talked about, the monetary situation. When we're talking about the Naira now with all of this too many tariffs in Nigeria, multiple tariffs now, and everything is on the rise. So how does any local industry, an indigenous industry, how do you produce? How do you package? It's part of what we're going through. I mean, I just think that at some point, this government in Nigeria today should sit back, bring its economic team, put them on the table, and let them have a rethink of all of the activities that they've done since they got into power, especially with multiple taxation, hike in tariffs, and all that's going on that's making life so difficult for people.
Okay, I have this one. Education Minister makes U-turn amidst 2009 federal government ASU agreement. You know, that's the crux of the matter.
Yes, I mean, about the strike, so we probably will not have the strike anymore. I think that's some good news. I had been worried that, I mean, strike again in universities, you know, and you see a whole lot of parents, especially those that are privileged in politics, in political circles. Now everybody goes abroad to study. Even schools in West Africa here have a group of Nigerian students on the rise because of the instability in our educational system. People, I mean, there was a time that some universities in Benin Republic and all of these places had a boost of population of Nigerian students because you couldn't be certain that a child gets into university for 4 years, and the 7th year the child is still in school.
Yeah. Okay, federal government defends passport price hike to 100,000 and 200,000 naira.
I mean, it's expected.
I saw this story.
If the federal government does not defend its policy, who will? You know, it's all part of the hardship, and you begin to ask yourself, okay, at what point are they going to relax? Are people going to be allowed to relax in a bit? You know, everything is on the high, and you just wonder what they think. You know, I don't know, Jones. I think I'm short of words here.
Okay, how about this? Why I would choose Tinubu over Obi Adeyanju?
His choice.
It's a matter of choice.
Oh yes, there's nothing to debate about it.
Okay, police arrest 6 suspected cult members in Osun.
Well,
cultism is becoming.
Cultism is. We all know that we all belong to one cult or the other. Even the churches, the mosques, everything.
Mine is the broadcasting cult.
You know, I think we use a whole lot of words out of context. Maybe each time they want you to look bad, you're labeled. Even the man and his wife and children, they're a cult, because at the end of the day, what does it represent? You know. So for me, I don't really give it a thought. I would say when they say this person is a cult, you now ask yourself who is not a cultist. As things are at the political within the political party, there's a caucus. Within the caucus, there's another caucus, and each of them keeping one secret or the other that's known to them only. That's why when something goes wrong, they say, "Oh, let's wait for the man to come and tell us what the agreement was." That is not in any paper outside what the Constitution says.
If on the other day, I had to go into a debate over the word ritual. Shaving every morning is a ritual.
True.
Taking your bath at a particular time is a ritual.
Of course.
So you use these words loosely.
Yes.
All right. Consider this one. Lagos painter nabbed for kidnapping customer's 7-year-old son. Cultism as compared to kidnapping.
You see, I don't know. When I say I don't know, Jones, because in this society, people now, when kidnap has become some big business. I recall in those early days when was it Evans that was mentioned as a chief kidnapper, blah blah blah. One thought that by now Evans' story would have deterred so many persons from doing this. But you see, there's a widespread kidnap cases around the country. People are kidnapped in droves, And these things, a whole lot of these things are not just man-made, are made by Nigerians. We recall since the very first case of the Chibok girls in 2014, which was politically motivated. And to know that some of the persons in government were part of that whole plan. Nobody talks about it. Everybody's quiet about it.
And since 2014, Nigeria hasn't...
it can be the same. Because people now know, oh, you can actually kidnap for this ransom, you can actually do for this ransom. And people were beneficiaries of that kidnap. And people know them. People know them. And they, of course, you recall that former President Goodluck Jonathan did say, in his government, he has people of the Boko Haram people in his government. And they have not ceased being in government, these persons. And so when we talk about kidnap of individuals, I mean, when it gets to a 7-year painter kidnapping a 7-year-old girl. In fact, there was this case where a son was in the gang that kidnapped his father. He was given ransom to the. In fact, at the time they wanted to go drop the ransom for the to free the father, he was given the ransom to go pay. And they said, okay, when you are going to drop the ransom, don't call anybody. Call us so that we can set the dragnet. The young man didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. He kept quiet. It was after he dropped the money and his father was not released, according to him, that he now raised an alarm. They said, but this is what we told you to do. Only for further investigations to continue. And they now found out that this young man was part of the gang. To go further from that, let's get the man, and the family came out to say, our family is a big family. How will they get to, people will now hear that the son of the family was involved in the kidnap of his father, and that man didn't return. And that man was a broadcaster. I mean, things happen, Jones.
Oh yeah, things you cannot really defend. Okay, if you will apply the brakes here and hand over the microphone to the listener, it's time for you to react. Which story or stories tickled your fancy, and how would you want to react to it or to them? Let's get you talking now. You know the number already, but for the newcomer, the studio number is 080-369-29933. Got that? 080-369-29933. I think I have a first respondent. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, the radio icon.
I greet you, sir.
I salute you. Happy weekend. Alabala is my name.
Welcome.
Guy from sir.
Good morning. I greet
Good
you.
morning, sir. Let me quickly say this. I sympathize with the good people of Sokoto State. Most of this that is happening is avoidable. Those people that are even planning these waterways, they should please always listen to instruction. Those people that are there, they should go and do investigation. If they make use of their life jacket, at all, if they don't make use of it, I think government should do the investigation thoroughly. Those people that know them on that, it should be investigated. If possible, should be jailed. We are talking about last year. And again, lastly, the issue of 2027. I think Kwankwanso should be very, very careful and play this game wisely. Although it will be very okay for me.
About 60 seconds are up. Thank you. We got you. Yeah. Okay. So the line is free now. If you feel up to joining issues, raising new ones, let's go. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
I greet you.
This is the problem. Now, the federal government, now the KKK, I'm George. I'm from the Mbushi. The KKK is the federal government. Now I go kidnap
Listen,
from Kenya.
No, please don't twist. Don't twist anything, please. Don't twist anything. We shared a story. React to the story we shared. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Jones.
Welcome.
Good morning, Efiong.
Good morning.
Yeah. When it is said that the late Abacha once quoted that if insurgency lasted for more than 24 hours, the government is aware of it. Why is it that in the Nigerian case, insecurity has not been able to go away for 50 whole years now?
What story are you reacting to? What story?
I'm reacting to the one of kidnapping and you said intercept fertilizer and equipment for making bombs. How is all this happening in Nigeria today? And we have not been able to apprehend the people that are in charge. Your analyst said, Jonathan once said, Boko Haram members are in his own cabinet, and yet nobody has been mentioned. Is it how we are going to continue like this? For how long are we going to go on before we be able to nip this thing in the bud?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so you listener, take advantage. The line is free now. What story or stories are you reacting to? Good morning to you.
Morning. Hello, Citizen Joe.
Welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, okay. My name is Matthew. I'm calling from Okafa, Ejibo. I want to react to the boat mishap in Sokoto. I think there's a ministry in charge of inland waterways. Personally, there's too many mishaps. We are not seeing anything from the Ministry of Inland Waterways. They are not doing anything. We are getting boat mishap every week. They are not even talking. No precautionary measures. I think we need to talk to the man in charge of Inland Waterway. What are you doing to stop these many mishaps? Thank you.
Thank you too. You have 60 seconds within which to react to a story or any story that caught your fancy. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Citizen Jones and your guest.
Welcome.
Good morning.
My name is Peter Usifo. I'm calling from Abanoja in Ikotu on ASU impending strike. I think ASU members, first of all, should henceforth know the difference between agreement and draft. And not only that, they should stop using 2009 as a base year for any strike. Please, in future, you should drop it.
I'm sure you have heard the statement, agreement is agreement.
I agree. But the government came out and said it was only a draft, not an agreement. So they should stop. They should know the difference between agreement and the draft in future. And they should stop using 2009. As ways of their own strike. Because for me, it's a way of blackmailing any government in the past, present, and even in future. So that is for that.
Thank you. Thank you. That's 60 seconds. Yeah. The line is free now. The next listener is here. Good morning to you. Welcome.
My name is Pastor Blessing.
Yes, Pastor. Go on.
Okay. The one I want to react is about how ritual is increasing in Lagos State.
How what?
Okay. Ritual. They're talking about ritual cutting. So, what I want.
I didn't talk about the growth of ritualism in Lagos. I talked about NLC asking for 150,000 naira minimum wage in Lagos. Thank you. Go on.
Okay. I thought I said something about ritual increasing in Lagos.
I thought you would have reacted to the pastor who raped the daughter.
I will call back.
Thank you. Do. Okay. We shared stories in the papers in the hope that you'd step out there, get a copy of your favorite paper and all papers, sort the stories. Hello, good morning. Welcome.
Hello, this is Emmanuel calling from Ajawo.
Emmanuel, welcome. Ajawo is in.
Yes, sir. I'm reacting on the NSP. Why is he demanding for 150,000 where the situation is down hard?
Are you a Lagos?
That's my
Are you a Lagos State resident or
yes. I'm a Lagos State resident. Why is the money for 150,000 for Lagos
you
people?
you work
Whereby situation,
you work in Lagos State government?
yes, I don't work in Lagos State government. I work with private firm in Lagos.
Okay.
Why is he demanding for 150,000? Whereby the 150,000 is if you are demanding for what of the private firm? Are they going to pay the 150,000 to a private firm?
That is why you need to read the story. You know, we share these stories in the hope that you'll go and seek the story in the right paper, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
All right. Would you want to react to any story or stories? Let's go. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Morning. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm reacting to the issue of ASU. Hello?
Go on, sir.
ASU said they negotiated the total agreement in 2021. It had been negotiated with this present administration, present PC government. So if somebody say 2009, I think they are getting it wrong. That agreement had been negotiated in 2021. If my memory serves me right. So I don't know how people say they should not talk about 2009. It had been renegotiated by APC government. That's what I have to say.
Thank you. Okay. What about you? You have any story you want to react to? Hello, welcome. Good morning.
Morning to you. Hey, I'm sorry to you. Am I forgetting? Because
Go on,
I'm just
sir.
noise.
Go on. Your time is ticking.
My name is Prince Wyatt. Greeting you from Osogbo this morning. I just want to thank the education minister, and I want to appeal to Mr. President. 2009, I know, is during the first government. The presently, we want take minors and plus. See that around table, we don't want our children to go to stay at home anymore. And Mr. President promised Nigeria 4 years should be 4 years. It means we are not having to go on strike. By dialogue we get, that is clear state maintained.
Thank you.
This is to ask you, answer as you, and let this Wahala be with. Good morning to you, my dearest you and your guest.
Thank you. Yeah. Ifyong, we have to apply the brakes here.
Yeah.
But thank you for your intervention.
Great pleasure.
And this is hoping that Charles Ideho would resume next week, during which time I expect the frog in his throat would have been damaged. Okay. Thank you, Ifyong.
Thank you, too.
Well, our next program is 5 minutes away. Please stick around. Good morning. right, folks, let's quickly step into our second offering, which is Citizen Jones this morning. And what we do is simple here. We interrogate issues that get thrown up by my country, your country, give context to the issues and clarity to them, just so you understand. Today, national endeavor and reward system, sporting excellence and related matters. Get that right. National endeavor and reward system, sporting excellence and related matters. Of a fact, representing one's country and winning laurels for her is a unique achievement. Yet, reward for this feat tends to divide opinion in the land and also appears to cast a shadow of doubt on future attempts at country representation. My listener is not oblivious to the attendant misgivings following the recent rewards announced by President Tinubu for both the Super Falcons and the Tigress basketball team, female basketball team. Millions of Nigerians are questioning the wisdom in handing over humongous rewards to athletes who, apart from allowances and bonuses they received during various championships, also got a part of the prize money handed out by organizers of these championships. But when a former national football coach, Fanny Amon, insists that many of our athletes, notably footballers, do not plan for life after their active days, then you marvel at national endeavor and reward system. Yes, rewards for sporting excellence vary from country to country, but back home, the debate about how fair the NFF, for instance, and the NBF, the National Basketball Federation, and others remain unwinnable and intense. Shall we have a conversation? My conversationalist is the one, the only broadcaster, sports journalist, Efyong Young, who is here. Efyong, I greet you. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for electing to intervene in this matter.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, national endeavor and reward system, sporting excellence and related matters. This debate I'm triggering now is coming after the burial of the former national football team goalkeeper Peter Rufai on August 22nd.
Yeah.
You remember former Eagles defender Taribo West said he would never advise his son to return to the country and represent the country.
Well, see, that can be taken in several, from different angles, and depending on what the context of the argument or discussion is. When Taribo West says he wouldn't advise or would let his son come to Nigeria to play for Nigeria, because he's played for Nigeria, he's grew up here in Nigeria, he's seen it all in Nigeria, and looking back, he's in a position to draw inferences from his experience as a club player, as a national team player, and having played abroad. And system, of course, we talked about the reward system. There's no reward system. Most things that happen to us in Nigeria, sports-wise, and even in other endeavors of human life, is through sheer brainwave, depending on whoever is at the helm of affairs decides. There's no laid down procedure to say, if you attain this comes, if this happens, that comes. Even if you get injured, even if your career terminates at some point, is there anything for you? No, there's no proper pension that is implemented, no insurance that's implemented that gives those guarantees.
Efyong, but I recall that you represented Cross River State.
Yes.
And you represented Nigeria at the WAFU University Games.
Well, yes, West African University Games. Yes.
Were you adequately rewarded for representation?
No, not at all. No rewards at all, other than maybe if you look back.
You got a handshake?
Was there really a handshake? The only thing that came in form of a handshake or in form of a reward was
at the time.
At the time, there was this reward system. Then we had at the University of Lagos for winning silver at the Nuga Games in Benin. We were given half colors of the University of Lagos. What that means, what it meant, and what it means today, what it translates to today, I still don't understand. Nothing to it. And some of our contemporaries went on to the Africa University Games. Nothing happened. Now, if you take it back to the national team situation, not
vis-a-vis what Coach Fani Amon said.
Yeah, you see, Fani Amu was an administrator. He was a coach and ended up as secretary of the Football Federation. So he could say whatever he wants to say. Fani Amu, I never knew Fani Amu as a footballer, because if you play sport and know that, you know how it feels. Now, I was listening to Sunday Olise, and he talked about players retiring at the age of 30, at the age of 35. And when you retire at that age from active football, and that's all you know in your life, without education, and you're expected to live 70, 80, for most part of your future, having left active playing or competitive athleticism, you there's no earning. So what do we do in our sporting federations to plan for these players? Don't forget that
Should it be the federation thing or a national thing?
Yeah, I mean, the federation is now the national sport now. That's what I mean. I mean, Football Federation, MBBF, these are federations under the National Sports Commission, as we have it today, formerly under the Ministry of Sport. But there should be a firm policy in place that gives should give some level of guarantee to know that, okay, should this happen to you, you have a country. Should this happen to you, there's some care. So you go all out representing your country, not minding what. In other climes, we have the social security that is meant for citizens. You don't have to play sport to be on a social security ticket because you are an indigene of that country. So you are guaranteed some minimum care by the country, but that doesn't exist.
Yeah. But in your active days, that's going back to what Fani Hammond said.
Yeah.
In your active days, is it forbidden to plan for your tomorrow?
No, but I mean that's
it's a personal choice.
I think it's blackmail. I will not just a personal choice. I think it's blackmailing the athlete. Because Fani Hammond knows that the boys that he coached in his years as a coach, how many of them were lettered? How many of them went to school? How many of them learned any trade?
Okay,
what did he?
Education matters.
Yes, I mean, education, skill acquisition. How many of them were so trained? For instance, there's this thing that happens in the armed forces. When you are nearing retirement, you go, 2-3 years to your retirement, they put you through some skill acquisition lessons. Then there's this resettlement center, Armed Forces Resettlement Center to Shudi. There's a vocational training center. The Nigerian Armed Forces sends its personnel to go train. They acquire some knowledge, get certificated.
That should be as a national policy.
Yes. It does not exist in sports. In sports. It does not exist in any other endeavor except from the military.
Listen, well, no pun is intended here. I'm not desirous of raising passion or emotion. The first AFCON victory came to Nigeria in 1980.
Yes, rightly so.
Late Christian Chukwu was captain, and many other players, including Odegbami and the rest. The promise of a house at Festac of Yor, a car, and some other things were made, the promises rather, were made by then late President Shehu Shagari in 1980. If these promises never got redeemed until the Muhammadu Buhari regime, bless his soul.
Yeah, but it was redeemed. They got the houses. They redeemed it. I am aware because I know one or two members of that team that still live in those houses. I know a couple of individuals who sold theirs, and yes, it was redeemed. Yes, it was. But you see, those are knee-jerk situations, like what President Tinubu has just done. It's still part of the knee-jerk attitude to dealing with these issues.
Have you heard? Yes, Mr. President Tinubu announced a cash reward of $100,000 for each member of the Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't know for the Tigress, but they have not been given the cash.
Not that I know of. They have not.
As of this morning.
I don't know. I have no information
Okay.
yet. But I also know that one of the players clamored and asked for it, and was promptly banished from the national team. I can't remember the name of the athlete, the player now.
Okay.
One of the Falcons players was for asking. And of course, we know that in Nigeria, the moment you say anything that is not sitting well with people in government, you are tagged, and they come for you.
You are punished.
Oh yes, heavily.
As they say, Nigeria would happen to you.
Oh yes, I mean it happened to Sunday Olise in 2002. For that reason, he was not allowed to go to the World Cup in Korea, Japan, in 2002. Yes, it happened to Vincent Yamada. That's how his career ended, as who's one of the best goalkeepers that we have ever had in the history of football in this country. His career ended because he complained, and many others like that. So it's in Nigeria that, and it happens generation after generation. So it's not as if the same set of persons are the ones that are meting out these injustices.
Yeah, if I talk football now, I remember the glory years of Sunday Dankaro, late Sunday Dankaro, as then NFA chairman. Things worked, if you understand.
Well, you see, Nigeria is an interesting place again, I would say, because we live in a country where we continually glorify the years of yore, the days when men were men, when football was football, when this was this, and when in other climes people are improving in their system, they are improving in their marketing, they are improving in the quality of the game. In Nigeria, it's retrogression everywhere. So Sunday Dankaro, he and his brother John Dankaro, they were great footballers of the time, and Sunday Dankaro was chairman of the Football Association. But interestingly, the fact that as at that time, there was less pressure, there was less politics in the management of the game.
Yeah,
different from what we have now.
Dankaro was a likable Football Association chairman.
Not just that, not just because he was liked, not because he was a footballer himself, but because the system allowed him work.
But late Isaac Akioye was director of the Sports Commission.
System also, the same people, the same style that is Nigerian, destroyed Isaac Akioye, destroyed his works, destroyed everything he stood for. And the system, people that were there at the time saw that this man was wrongly accused, messed up his career, messed up his psyche, messed up his everything that he stood for during his time. And he never got, in fact, until Isaac Akioye died, he was not issued a letter of sack. He was suspended after the Moscow Olympic Games in 1980. And you now ask Isaac Akioye if he will tell, if he was alive, if he will encourage any of his children to go into sports administration in Nigeria. He definitely will tell you no, because this is the system. The system is not fair to itself. Okay. The Nigerian problem is systemic.
Okay, if let me record rather sadly also that a former Minister of Information and Sports, the late Sir Alex Akinyele, I had cause to interview him and pointedly asked him, Chief, why did you, in spite of his achievements, why did you want to sack Coach Westerhoff, Clemens Westerhoff?
Well, you see,
you understand the episode.
Very well, very well.
But Westerhoff came, relieved Paul Hamilton, who was in charge of the national team, if you remember.
Yeah, you see, in Nigeria, again, like I always will say, it's systemic. At the time Clemens Westerhoff was brought in, was there any need to replace Paul?
1989.
89, yes.
Yeah.
Was there any need to remove Paul Hamilton? The answer, for me, the answer is no. Because Hamilton was doing very well. We were almost qualified for the World Cup, the Italian 1990 World Cup. And we are going to play the last game with one game to go. We had played the first leg. It was a draw, and you brought Westerhoff and introduced him and dropped Hamilton. One, the team psychology was destroyed. Westerhoff dropped players, dropped Peter Rufai, God bless his soul, removed Henry Nwosu and a couple of players from that team. And these were players that were dreaded by Cameroon. So we
were to play Cameroon.
We were to play Cameroon and went for that final game in Yaoundé, and we lost by a lone goal. And Westerhoff was given an extended contract that lasted 5 years, the longest any coach has ever had. And Westerhoff was also given a blank check to work with the then military vice president, Augustus Aikomu.
Bless his soul.
An opportunity that no coach in the history of Nigeria has ever gotten. So the system that happens, things that happen in Nigeria don't happen anywhere else. Now, that same situation, or similar situation, if you like, happened to Amadou Shaibu in 2010. Yes, in 2010.
Yeah.
He had qualified Nigeria for the World Cup. He didn't lose any match throughout the qualification series. There were only 9 coaches in the world that didn't lose any game in the build-up to the World Cup of 2010.
Yeah.
I was going to be the only indigenous coach that was bringing his country to the World Cup.
And by 2010 was the World Cup, the first World Cup in Africa. Yeah.
All of the historical moments that we would have recorded with Amadou Shaibu at the helm of affairs, the administrators of football in Nigeria at that time decided to destroy it. And interesting is that the fact that the director of sports at that time was an ex-player, Patrick Ekeji. The minister of the minister of sport at that in 2010 was Sani Danusa, engineer Sani Danusa, who was president. Who grew from president of the tennis federation to become the minister of sport at the time. So you ask why, and when they dropped Amadou Shaibu, they brought in Las Lagerbach, paid Las Lagerbach a whopping $1.5 million for him to go to the World Cup and come back, a 3-month contract. At the end of that World Cup, Amadou Shaibu was still being owed.
But sorry, Amadou Shaibu was owed even in death.
Yes, true.
Stephen Keshi too.
Yes.
Joseph Eriko.
Yes, true.
NFF or federal government?
Both of them, because the NFF superintends over the federal government superintends over the NFF. The Football Federation in Nigeria works as almost as a parastatal of the Minister of Sport, and in this context, in the context of today, as a parastatal of an arm of the Sports Commission. But when it comes to taking responsibility, that's when you hear who is in charge and who is not in charge. People will just always run away or shake their responsibility not to be held accountable.
All right, dear listener, you're listening to Citizen Jones this morning, and today we're looking at National Endeavor and Reward System, Sporting Excellence and Related Matters. And my discussant is the one, the only, Effiong Nyong. He should know. So if you feel up to raising issues or joining issues with us, why not? The line is open. Let's make it a dialogue and not a monologue. Let it be a two-way street. What issues do you think you can raise? You feel like raising? Let's go there. Yeah. I also know, Effiong, that at a time with our national teams. Okay, I have a first listener. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome.
Yes, I did the guest in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is yeah, quickly, the game of Nigerian sport is also the same thing that workers want from the general leadership from government. You know, they don't have square peg and square hole. They just act on impulse. Like all look at all the things you mentioned, like all these people that were not giving their due. You know, this shows a form of injustice. So the problem is just leadership and not having square peg and square hole. That's the question. It's summarizing.
Thank you.
Very true. It's a leadership problem. Not
So,
because
having a national team that must necessarily reflect plurality. You must have a player from Calabar, from Igbo, from Hausa, from name it.
the politics of it. You see, again, that happened to what's his name now, Nduka Ogbade.
Okay.
In 1994, going to the USA 94, Nduka Ogbade would have been the very first player in the world that would have played in all cadres of the World Cup to feature at the Senior World Cup. But guess what? When it was time for them to get to that World Cup, he was dropped, and a certain Tijani Babangida was brought in to replace Nduka Ogbade so that there will be ethnic balancing in the national team. And Nduka Ogbade had played all the games, most of the games, in the build-up for that World Cup. And they got to the USA in 1994, and Tijani Babangida didn't kick a ball. So many things happen in our country.
Let me take another listener here. Good morning to you. Welcome.
I greet you.
Good morning.
My name is Place Quiet. Calling you from this one. Please, I want to ask you a question. In 1994, where did they reward them? Because they announced the reward during that period. Is it the same government that reward them, or this government that reward you that fulfill the promise? Please, that is what I want to know. Good morning to you.
I cannot remember now if it was the same government, but I doubt it. But they were rewarded. The Tunisia 1994 team, they were rewarded. I know that they were rewarded, but which of the governments fulfilled that promise, I don't know now. Can't remember.
94, who was at the helm in the country?
1994 was Sani Abacha.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I have a listener here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen Jones and your guest.
Yes, sir. We greet you.
Good morning.
My name is Peter Usifo. I'm calling from Abanoja in Sokoto. My take is on the reward system. Recently, the Falcons and the Tigers were well rewarded by Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he gave them 100.
The president announced a reward.
Yes, he announced a reward.
But have they been rewarded?
Well, as we learned, they have not yet been, empirically given. That is, they have not spent the cash as it were, but they were rewarded. So that is just the main point I'm trying to say. So, but the society, many Nigerians later went against this. That's why should they give them such amounts while the citizens are suffering in penury and other civil servants even ASU, NS and the rest are yet to get enough money.
Yeah, 60 seconds. Oh, yeah.
Well, he says they'll be rewarded. We've not seen the reward.
And the reward has divided opinion in the land.
Of course, as of right, people have a choice. That does not change the fact that the president has announced the reward and has not rescinded his decision that the players deserve to be so rewarded.
All right. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen Jones.
Welcome.
I greet your guest.
Good morning.
My name is Lambert. I'm calling from Orile. Yes, on the part of government, I don't know why we used to have this problem. Your guest has already spoken. He said it's a systemic. You see, we don't lack education in this country. People who are leading us they are well educated, but when it comes to administration, you begin to see. I don't know the exact word to describe. Things are not just working. Somebody is succeeding. What was the reason to change? Had it been his failing, you have a reason. Now, like Shuaib Ahmadu, he has already completed his assignment by taking us to World Cup. All of a sudden, it was changed. And then on the part of the athletes or footballers themselves, they should know the country they belong, they are coming from. They shouldn't forget themselves. Anytime they are giving money, they should save for themselves and not depend on government only to cry out later.
All right, thank
you.
Thank you. We got it.
You know, it's interesting. You know, when you say players should save for themselves, I keep imagining how much money you would have saved that will last you another 30 years. Let us say you retire at 60. You retire at 30 and you have 30 years to go. How much money you will save to spend? Investments, yes.
Invest.
Or, investments, yes. But there's...
No, sorry. Invest, because I know the debate would be the seasons are different. But both Messi and Ronaldo are known to be heavy investors.
Not just them, even in other sports like golf. Tiger Woods is one of the richest athletes in the world,
planet,
right? You see, I talk about being systemic. No plan. Things are just done haphazardly. What's the sports policy? What does it say? Welfare of athletes during, before, during, and after service. You get injured on the field of play. Even when you get injured as a former on the field of play, what happens? No plan.
Recall this extreme case. You remember that Grace Alozie, a great hurdler,
Gloria Alozie,
switched nationalities.
Yes.
She elected to be Spanish.
Yes.
Peter, what's his name?
What's his name now? There's this latest girl, even
Chikwelu.
Favor of Philly recently.
Francis Chikwelu.
Francis Obikwelu, yes.
Rather, elected to Portugal,
yes.
And recently Favor of Philly,
yes,
one of these Asian countries.
Yes.
Part of the system?
Oh yes, because see what happened with Favor in the last Olympic Games. She went to the Olympic Games. She wasn't entered for the sport. People elected not to enter her. For the 100 meters or so, and they said she couldn't compete in this sport and that sport because it was going to be too difficult for her, it was going to be tiring for her and all of that, without her consent, without she being part of that plan. How do you do that?
And at the
end of the day, the same officials who blundered now started blaming the athlete for over dramatization. And we are in a country where the moment you speak up or speak out, then you are shut down. And that's what
you are considered an enemy.
Yes. Why would you say so? That's what goes on around here.
A listener is there. Good morning again.
Assistant Jones, the network did not allow me to land on my thoughts. Let me quickly land on my thoughts, please. Peter Usifo is the name. Yes, actually, the reward system, as I was saying, the president, you are now starting rewards to those Falcons and then the Tigers people. But many people in society will be against that. You know, what I'm trying to say in essence is that it's once in a while that these people win laurels. So it is not every time. So they should not envy them. The president was right to have rewarded them. You understand? So while in other previous, even these recent ones, that the chance people did not perform well, you could not hear the president say anything. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that society, whenever these people win laurels, they should be well rewarded. During the time of Abiola's time, he was always giving us money. And even some brands, some organizations were also giving out money and reward, unlike now.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Later, Abiola not only announced, but he gave.
Yes.
So, but this is a different kettle of fish. Thank you. If you want, let me introduce another element into this discussion. In 1996, during the Atlanta Olympics, after we won gold, the late great Pelé went to our camp. Recall that the Minister of Sports then, the late Emeka Omerwa, the minister, Pelé said, "Honorable Minister, this is your team for the 1998 World Cup." But that was not the team we took there. Is it part of the system?
Still systemic. Most of the players were there. Were there in 1998. And don't forget again, if you look back at what happened in 1998, the Sani Abacha government got involved, favored a number of players, indiscipline set in, and this issue of coaches, change of coaches, and all that also set in. That's when we brought in Bora Milutinovic. They said they were bringing a World Cup coach. The man had coached 4 countries previously, and we helped him set a record as one of the coaches with the most appearances at the World Cup. And we dropped Philippe Troussé, who had coached Nigeria during the time.
The black witch.
The white witch doctor. And Philippe Troussé moved over to, I think he went to
Côte d'Ivoire,
South Africa.
Okay.
South Africa, and took them to and took South Africa. So we always will have these issues because we don't keep faith with agreements. When we don't keep faith with contracts, we don't respect people, and people get into offices by chance.
All right, let's take another listener. Good morning to you.
Hello,
welcome.
My name is Pastor.
Okay then.
So I want to contribute on what is happening in the sport as you just said. The lady just from the money that won in one of the football, and one of them complained, and she was removed. So what I would say then is there's a lot of corruption in this administration. Corruption is much. And the height of corruption
we are not talking corruption in this administration. We are looking at reward system generally, please.
Okay. Why I say corruption is what is happening, you understand me? And what is surprising is that when you complain, you see that the people behaving as if they have freedom, they will call and defend the government. It's not good. So in Nigeria, to just try, government, let's just try and do well and care for the people. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 60 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. See, again, the other thing that happens is that what would be the reaction of the contemporaries of the athlete when those decisions are taken? And that's why if you listen to Sunday Olusi, he talks about betrayal by his colleagues, his friends, his teammates. Because in the case of Sunday Olusi, he spoke out for the team. He was the team captain. In the case of Vincent Yama, he spoke for the team. But they were disciplined, or they were ruthlessly dealt with. Not call it discipline.
Otherwise, like the street parlance would say, Nigeria happened to them.
Absolutely.
Recall that the NFF assumed the name the Glass House. At a time, Effiong, a certain amount of money was said to have been misappropriated in the Glass House. Until day after tomorrow, we haven't heard anything about it. Part of this systemic thing.
Yes. I mean, it's in Nigeria that a former official of the football house forgot the jerseys
of players. I think the game was to have taken place in Benin here.
Yeah, no, it was against Benin Republic. It was to play. The match was played here in Nigeria.
Okay.
They left the team jerseys were left in Ibadan, and for that reason, the Nigerian team, the under-17 team that was to play in that competition,
they played in improvised jerseys.
They were routed out. The team failed to qualify. I think it was their passports, not jerseys. Okay. It was their passports that they forgot. So there was no verification for the team to play.
But so the guy involved became the general secretary.
Later became the general secretary of the same football association. The one involving the national team, the one of jerseys, was another one.
Okay.
Where, of course, I don't know if you still record that they had to cut their tracksuits. You use scissors in the field to cut their tracksuits.
And nobody was punished.
Somebody was the head of the International of Competitions at the Football Federation at the time, and the person still remained in office.
Yeah, let me take another listener here. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, wonderful morning to you, Jones.
Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Efiong.
Good morning to you.
I'm a job calling from my solar kingdom. Quick one. See, our government sometimes they don't take care of our ex-players, and the reward system in Nigeria is very, very bad. After US 94 team, it took them almost 30 years to reward that team of US 94, which is the best ever team we've ever had. Then I believe in what Mr. Efiong said. Sometimes our players they don't invest very well. I played ball. Then I traveled to Indonesia. After some time, I started doing my own business with my own money. So they should learn that culture of investing their money. Know that this government will not take care of you after your time in Europe. Good morning, Jones.
Thank you. Made a point.
Yeah.
We're talking about investment now.
Yes. You see, players need to be guided. But our players are just people are just let loose to just go be there, do whatever they want. I mean, if we have our players when you come to camp, there has to be a pattern. The pattern should include training, and forget that it also involves some of the contracts.
Training for after life, after active years.
Yes.
But might I inject the story of Peter Fregene? Is he alive?
Yeah, I think he passed.
Peter Fregene, before he passed, became sickly.
Yes.
Would you say the system abandoned him, or I don't know how you react to it?
No, for Peter Fregene, I would say that his era while goalkeeping was maybe not too adequately taken care of, but I think I would really say system.
But Peter Fregene played for stationery stores of York.
He played for what's it called? Before stationery stores. He played for Ido Tigers.
Ido Tigers.
I think that was
ECN later.
Yes, I think Levantis or so.
Okay.
Ido Tigers. Then, then stationery stores. Then I think he was pensionable. He had a pension and all that. The pension may not have been adequate during his older years. So people of that era had a plan because the establishment, the Nigerian system at that time worked.
Okay.
But what is happening to us in Nigeria today is the dismantling of the system by politicians who go against every norm of civil service management and proper training of people.
Let me take another listener.
Yes.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen Joe.
Welcome.
Yeah, I love your analysis.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, the problem Nigeria has is jealousy and envy. There are a group of people that cannot do good, and they always find themselves on top. And when a good person is coming behind them, once it's not from them, they will destroy the person. That's why only Westerhoff, who understands Nigerian problem, was given chance and he produced. Nigeria, if you are about to rise, once you are not from that people, they will quench you and destroy you. There's no plan. Everybody love each other. If it is not from us, we cannot move. That's just the problem Nigeria have.
Thank you. Efiong, still going back, talking history, after the 1994 World Cup, we became number 5 in the world. So you expected us to build on that record.
Sure.
But by this next ranking released by FIFA, we were down there.
Yeah.
In Africa, we were number 1.
Yes, for a long time.
So what happened? Where did we drop the ball?
The politics of the time. Don't forget that at the time, the government of Nigeria had issues with South Africa. and Nigeria, yes, with South Africa and the world, because the Abacha administration at that time was treated like a pariah. And Nigeria,
I remember that.
Yes.
We were barred from defending the.
No, we were not bad. We withdrew.
Nigeria was withdrawn.
Yes, by the government.
Yeah.
Not to play the Nations Cup.
Defend the Nations Cup
in South Africa.
We won in 1994.
Yes.
All right, I have another listener here. Welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you once again to Edgar. Alaba is my name.
Go on. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We're having Oga Ifyong, the man that knows about sport very well. Oga Ifyong, you guys should be having time to be talking to these our footballers or our sport in general. How they will be keeping money, they should be investing so that their health will be good. That's the way some of them earn. I don't always like it. They have flamboyant lifestyle. You should also talk to them psychologically. You should talk to them. They should not even depend on the government or rewarding system.
Alaba Effiong also talked about education.
That one is also there. So please, the you guys will not leave these guys. Talk to them whenever they are getting this $1 million. They should always invest. They should always invest and always take care of their family. If they do that, if anything happens to them, this is where they will fall back on.
Thank you. 60 seconds are up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say I always talk about our problems being systemic. Because if it's part of for instance, there are a lot more sports academies today than there ever was in the country. And if sports academies are licensed, if sports academies will present their programs, and education of the players should be part of it. If they're in a formulation of our policies for sport, we could also look at how do we grow the business of sports in Nigeria, particularly football, that is within the context of discussion now.
Let us leave football for a while. I want to introduce what you might term as an explosive issue. The late Emmanuel Ifajuna, Major Emmanuel Ifajuna, won the first individual Commonwealth gold
medal, yes,
in high jump.
Yes, in Canada, in Vancouver.
Yeah, in 1954.
Yeah.
You remember the drawing book with,
yes.
With
yes.
an athlete jumping?
Yes.
I had that drawing book.
I had it too.
Good. You know, when it came to national honors, his name was removed because they say he was involved in a coup.
Yeah, the hypocrisy of our time, quite hypocritical, because if for instance you dishonor Emmanuel Ifajuna as a coup plotter, then was Buhari not a coup plotter? Was Babangida not a coup plotter? All of the military generals that have ruled Nigeria, that have held positions of influence.
But they were not sportsmen.
I'm saying they were all coup plotters, if coup plotting is the word. And these persons have also not been stripped of their national honors. I mean, so it's just sheer hypocrisy.
I just mentioned that in passing, so we leave it there.
Okay.
But again, in 2025, the world is becoming a global village. But let me take this listener. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
My name is
You they use bedroom voice. Come to the parlor.
I say my name is Pep.
It's better. Go on.
I listen to whether you are guest. I learn a lot. He educates people. But what I'm saying that what I understand from here, I say this. This thing we are doing, can we? What I'm talking as my own suggestion idea. Whether we bring an end, stop all these tribalism issues. I got something I learned a lot from that. I guess when you do rising star, they are going to bring the person down, suppress the person. In my own thought, this one, can we bring an end of that thing? It will not help us. It will not help us go far. Anybody rising star, we are still rising star, maybe because you not come from certain region, they will bring the person, silence the person down. It's eating something on our body. Can we bring to the end of it? regardless of where the person comes from.
The familiar refrain.
Yes, I mean, it's the politics we play because sports is part of us, one of those departments in our lives, and sports takes a cue from what we determine at the bigger political podium, and whatever comes from that podium. Sports is just an arm. Again, you look at our choices of sports ministers, choices of chairmen and directors.
How they get thrown up.
Yes, and there's no system, there's no leadership system that throws up people to leadership positions to be able to drive things, to make things happen positively. And despite our education, we refuse to harness them. If you look at, let's look at the leadership of our country. Let's look at the leadership of the person that have been sports ministers. Let's see how they come. So when you look at the quality of individuals that govern and manage our sports, you cannot make any mistake to tell what the outcome will be. You cannot bring a journalist, for instance, that has no basis of no information about administration and makes him a sports minister and expect that he will do good, like we had in the recent past.
All right. Let me. Another listener is here. Good morning to you.
Hello. Good morning, Joe.
Welcome.
Yeah. Help me extend my greeting to my everyone.
He's listening to you.
Yes, he has said it all. You see, it is high time for us to stop disputing ourselves in this country. The problem of Nigeria is systemic. Very, very. Election Kwembe said that it is not worth time for Nigeria. And then Kwembe made the same statement. So many of them, if you want to get it right in this country, you have to be properly oriented. Nigeria problem is spiritual. Because the way we do things in this type of work.
Okay, it is human. It is human, not be spiritual. Go on.
I'm coming. This is Joe. I'm coming, please. I'll take over to you. I know what you're a citizen of Nigeria, I'm a citizen of Congo. Yes. Because now who wears shoe, no wear the bottom. You understand? Look at what your analysts have been saying. Had it been they follow it up, Nigeria sport
thank
will
you.
be the best of the world.
All right. What he said that struck me, Nigeria's problem is spiritual. It is human. It is more human than spiritual.
Of course.
Because Côte d'Ivoire is today a football giant in Africa. Is it spiritual? It is human.
Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, I mean, going back in time.
Yeah.
I recall in the days of...
It used to be Ghana, Cameroon.
No, I want to talk about the Ghanaian story. Now, when Kwame Nkrumah was president of Ghana, and they found out that each time the Ghanaian national team had to play football, people will come from the Ashanti region, the Kumasi to Accra, and there was an executive order from the office of the president. For you to play in the national team, you should be playing your football around Accra. Then, of course, there was this club, then Accra Heart of Oaks.
Yeah.
And other such clubs like that had to come.
Ashanti Kotoko.
That came from the Ashanti region.
Yeah.
Now, but you see, most of the players now settled around the Accra Heart of Oaks. So that at intervals, when they don't have any competition, the team will come together, they play together, and go back to their different club sides. And Ghana became a very formidable team because most of the national team players were playing their football.
Babaya Ranko.
Yeah, they are playing in Accra.
Yeah.
So there has to be deliberate policy of government and implementation.
As we make to coast back home, the national stadium at Surulere used to be a mecca of sorts.
A tourist site.
Today, it's been taken over by crusaders, people who organize crusades and such like ventures. Is that coming from government?
Yes, coming from government. Government actually.
But I thought the stadiums in my country, your country, were supposed to have gone into this concessionaire thing.
You see, again, one of our listeners talked about corruption. And when people, and the corruption is multidimensional. One, how do people ascend the office of sports minister? Now, when people commit blunder because they belong to a particular political class or political association, they go away free. Government, the shutdown of that stadium after 2006, I still recall because I was at the stadium the day that last match was played. The match was a match organized by Smart Ventures, Smart Ebodage, a friend and journalist. He organized the match, and that match was Keshi and friends. During the course of that match, some hoodlums broke into the stadium. They were part of the fans. They broke into the arena, and Kocha's neck chain was cut. They stole a few things.
Rough-handled people?
Mobbed, I would say.
Okay.
And just went away, and they cited insecurity as the problem. And from that day, the Nigeria Football Federation stopped playing matches there. They now took the matches outside Lagos. That was the beginning of that degeneration. Then ministers came, addressed this issue. They refused to address the issue. It was time to say, okay, let us. They now brought the issue of concessioning. Now, you want to concession a stadium, you've not made it public. You don't know tender. Who are the people that you are concessioning it to? Where are the sporting federations? How do they play in it? They went in, collect money from Mr. A, collect money from Mr. B, and no account is given. And those same persons are in government today. As they are still in government today, and people are still calling them honorable minister, former your excellency, and stuff like that. These are individuals that should be charged and jailed for the things their activities.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the situation at the stadium in Lagos, I hear they've concessioned it, or they are going to concession. The concessionaires are going to be taking over. It was not made public. No input from sporting federations. The people just conspired amongst themselves to do what they do because they have power.
All right, in going home, are we damned? Are we doomed? Is it too late to make a fresh start?
Well, which of the questions should I answer now?
The one that comes to mind.
I would say that it is never too late, because when you wake up, that's your morning. And we're quite hopeful that someday, sometime very soon, we'll have a different Nigeria, a new Nigeria, a workable and working Nigeria is very, very possible. And because Nigeria has what it takes, we have professionals, we have individuals that are intellectually endowed. We also believe that someday, very soon, we have the proper leadership, not the leadership that we have today, in all spheres of our endeavors of national life. And if we have that, then the system will function. Just please, before let me quickly drop this. I recall that in the days of the Yakubu Gowon era, they set up this school in Kuru near Jos, the Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. And that institute produced a lot of military people that became administrators and leaders in society.
So now, that you might say was the golden era.
And the administration was also, civil servants were taken to Badagry at the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria.
ASCON.
Yes. Yeah. So, and these persons were put in leadership position and things worked.
All right, Effiong, we must apply the brakes here, but not before thanking you for your time, for your intervention.
Always a pleasure.
All right, folks, we are out until Saturday next week. Take care.